Let's be honest, there's way too much conflicting information and misinformation out there about how to get into top colleges. You might think that having great activities will make up for mediocre grades, or you might think that strong SAT scores can offset a lack of activities, or maybe you don't know what to think. In today's video, I'll show you a simple framework that'll help you understand for once and for all how college admissions officers will evaluate your application. Hey everybody, James here. I'm one of the founders of Cortex Education, and I specialize in using personal development to help my students achieve college admissions success. Let's start with the basics. For most of the competitive colleges out there, your college application will include 6 key components: your GPA, course load, standardized testing scores like your SAT, ACT, AP, and SAT subject tests, extracurricular activities, essays, recommendation letters, and sometimes there's a 7th component, which is interviews. There's a ton of confusion out there about how these factors actually come together, so let me introduce you to what we call the 2-filter system. In general, top colleges will put your application through 2 filters. The first filter is the question, are you academically prepared for this college? And to decide this, the admissions officer will look at the more numerical aspects of your application, your grades, the number of AP and honors classes you've taken, and your standardized test scores. According to the National Association for College Admissions Counseling, quote, "Nothing is more important than a high school transcript showing strong academic performance in a solid curriculum. Knowing that you can do the work starts with a thorough review of high school performance." Now, if you pass through that first filter, then the admissions officer will ask, are you the kind of person we actually want on campus? And to decide this, the admissions officer will look at the more qualitative aspects of your application, your activities, your essays, recommendation letters, and any feedback from interviews. According to a Dartmouth admissions officer, quote, "It's not enough just to be smart. Students must also show that they'll be good classmates and community builders," unquote. Alright, why do we look at this system like it's a pair of filters? Well, there are 2 reasons. First of all, to get into a top college, you'll need to get through both filters. That's because college admissions officers want to know that you satisfy both criteria. They want to know that you're academically ready for the college, and you're the kind of person they want on campus. Having just one of these qualities isn't enough. And 2, once you satisfy a given filter, being extra strong in that filter doesn't really help you much. This is a slight oversimplification, but in my experience, it's overall a pretty fair way to think about the admissions process. Now you might be wondering, what about the colleges that don't require essays or activities or letters of recommendation? Okay, well, let's talk about how the filtering systems are different at different types of colleges. Filter 1, the academic filter, matters to every college that I've ever come across, with the exception of community colleges or other institutions that don't have a normal admissions process. And on to Filter 2. In general, the more competitive or selective a college is, the more they care about filter number 2. Here's a surprising statistic. A few years ago, I read that approximately 70% of applicants with a perfect SAT score are rejected from Stanford. That means that the second filter does some pretty heavy-duty filtering at top colleges like Stanford. Of course, many students without perfect SAT scores get into top colleges every year, and this means that admissions officers routinely reject students with slightly better scores in favor of students who exhibit other qualities that satisfy that second filter. And that's why I said earlier that being overqualified for either of the factors doesn't really help you a lot. It's more important to satisfy both filters equally well. By understanding how the college admissions process works overall, in particular how the 6 or 7 factors are grouped and considered by colleges, you'll understand much more clearly how to weigh your different priorities as you go through high school. I hope you liked this video and you learned something new, and if so, please hit that like button down below since that's the only way the YouTube algorithm knows that it should share this video with more people who might benefit from it. Again, my name is James, I'm one of the founders of Cortex Education, and I specialize in using personal development to help my students achieve college admissions success. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.